Hey everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayla Glumack and I have an ostomy bag. Let's get right into our 2-year stomaversary update. I have had my stoma for 2 years now. I can't even believe it. I feel like ever since I got it, I feel like that was like the start of my life again, because I think of like the time that I was in the hospital before that and on all these medications that just weren't working. Like literally the reason that I got surgery in the first place was because the only medication, wow, look at this shirt just popping right open. The only medication that was working to keep my ulcerative colitis controlled was prednisone. So I would try new medications, and I guess however the insurance companies work, they want you to try and fail all the medications before they'll approve you going to surgery or whatever. So a lot of people have asked, why didn't I give Entyvio more of a chance? So Entyvio was the very final medicine that I was on right before surgery, and I was on it for maybe a month. And basically, I had talked to my doctor about it, and we both knew that that was the last possible medication that could work for me. And I told him, I was like, I have already gone through and failed 4 or 5 medications. I'm tired. My body is tired, and I already have accepted the fact that I want to have surgery. I want the diseased large intestine out of my body. I want it to be something that like my body doesn't have to constantly fight itself over anymore. You know what I mean? Like I was just tired. I was sick and tired. And luckily he agreed. If you don't have a doctor that's going to be on the same page as you as far as your care goes, find another one. That's what I did, and I honestly am so grateful for the doctor that I ended up with, because you're the one that knows your body the best at the end of the day. Like I will say this until I'm blue in the face, you are the best advocate for your body, and sometimes we have to be a little bit more aggressive when it's not mean. I'm not saying be mean. You just have to be more forthcoming with what you're looking for out of your healthcare. I literally, if you go back and watch my video when I first went down to Mayo, the GI basically dismissed me and said, "You look fine today," because I had my hair and my makeup done. And so then the next time that I went, I was like, well, okay, if you want to see what I actually feel like, no hair, no makeup done. I went in and I was like, I feel so much pain right now all the time, every day. Anyway, you sometimes have to express it more, because I think us as ulcerative colitis patients, when you have it for so long, you don't want to be the person in your friend group that's complaining all the time. So we learn to mask our pain and we look fine on the outside. I hate that phrase, but it makes sense why people say that, like, oh, you look good today or whatever, because we're so used to trying to look good, because we don't want that to be the focus of whatever we're doing. Anyway, so when I finally got surgery, oh yes, okay, so Entyvio, sorry, my brain goes like, blah, and then we get back to it. Okay, so the reason that I didn't continue on and see if Entyvio would work for me was, again, because I was sick and tired of failing medications. And my biggest thing was that I knew in my heart and soul, after watching a ton of videos on YouTube about what life is like with an ostomy bag or a J pouch and all of that stuff, I did all my research and I mentally prepared myself for over a year. I had watched everything and asked all the questions and learned from people who had ostomy bags and stuff like that. And I was prepared, and I did not want to go under emergency surgery. I wanted it to be a very flawless as it could be, you know what I mean? Like I wanted all the cards to line up so that I had the best surgery experience that I could, and not wait until my body was more sick and thus a more difficult recovery or more difficult surgery in general. So I found the team that was going to do that for me, and I am so happy now, 2 years later, still have my ostomy bag. It is amazing. There's things about it, like, let's be real. There's things that are not great about it, like having a bag that you have to empty as a girl in fashion. The clothing, that was the biggest thing. That was a big challenge for me before getting the ostomy bag, was like, what am I gonna wear? Can I wear jeans again? Can I wear, like, what is it gonna be like? What is that whole thing? And honestly, all the stars aligned, so we're kind of going into life after the ostomy bag, okay? So follow me. But that was one of the biggest concerns, is like, what is life gonna look like for me? And you know, clothing as a lady, when you're wearing like tighter clothing, leggings, for example, and you go out in public, like, yeah, you're gonna see the bag as it fills. Like, that's just the reality of it, but you can still control how often you empty it and all of that. I am one that does have, I would say I have a higher output, I think, because, I mean, I'm never like, no one's ever told me that, like a doctor hasn't told me that, but I think that it is just based on like how many times a day that I empty my bag. I would say I probably empty my bag around 8 to 10 times a day. Now, I am lucky because I do work from home, so I can just, I think about it in that way, like I don't think about how often I empty my bag unless I'm out in public or at a friend's house or something where it makes me more aware, like, okay, like, when did I last go to the bathroom? I gotta go again. But honestly too, the other big thing was that like, I was worried about the smell. Now, the cool thing about ostomy bags is that you don't smell it until you're emptying it into the toilet. It's just like anyone else going poop, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna smell. So yes, we have that more often, but I also think back to my ulcerative colitis days, I was going to the bathroom like 13 to 20 times a day. So, you know, the smell then, the smell now, not really changed. Speaking of clothing to wear and kind of fast forwarding to where I'm at right now in life in general, I ended up, right after I got my ostomy surgery, you know, I went on leave for work. I worked in cardiac rehab, but more specifically, I worked in a preventative medicine department. So I worked with patients who were like pre-heart disease or had any sort of like, I'm like totally spacing on the word. I want to say like prerequisites, which is totally the wrong word. Predispositions to heart disease. So maybe they have family history, yada yada, any of the things. So they basically wanted to come and prevent heart disease by meeting with me, and I was the exercise physiologist on the team. We had a nutritionist and we had a stress coach too, stress management coach. And our department didn't make a lot of money because it's, you know, prevention doesn't make a lot of money for hospitals. Caring for patients after, it's so twisted. Our healthcare system is so twisted, but whatever. So anyway, when I was on leave for my surgery, this was February 2020 is when I had my surgery, February 11th. Hey. And then I was out, you know, I don't even know how long it was. But when I finally went back to work, that was like COVID hit, obviously. I worked for a month or two from home. So I did my phone calls and checked in with patients and all of that, and never actually went back into the hospital to work before they shut my program down. And that's when they were doing a lot of budget cuts and all of that. And so a program that's not making money for the hospital, obviously they're going to cut. It's fine, because honestly, I felt like it didn't align with my true purpose. Like, I was good at that job for the other patients. I enjoyed it. I loved working with my patients and all of that, but I just felt like there was something else that I was missing, like a bigger purpose, you know what I mean? So I ended up, the month before our program shut down, I had this idea that had kind of been sparked the year before about starting a boutique, a women's clothing boutique. That has been a dream of mine since I was in middle school. I wanted to work in fashion, whether it was an editor of a magazine. That was like one of my big goals. I wanted to either open up a boutique of my own, run a fashion line, something of that sort. And all the stars kind of aligned to where one of my friends also had that same dream, and we ended up teaming up and opening up an online women's clothing boutique, which is so cool and so crazy. So absolutely the best thing that ever happened to me was losing my job at the hospital, because it gave me that push that was like, okay, I have this dream, and now it's a now or never to like go and do it, you know what I mean? So the day that I got the phone call that our program was shutting down was the day that we had already planned on launching our business. And nobody that I worked with even knew that I was doing this behind the scenes. Like, I had planned to work on the boutique and then do that, but then once it was taking off and actually something that I could pay myself through, then I would quit the job at the hospital. But it all kind of fell into my lap a little bit quicker, which was great. We are an online-only women's clothing boutique, and our biggest mission stems from my co-owner, Liz. She is a mom, so, you know, having the mom body and dressing your mom body is something that is important to her. She wanted, you know, to teach people how to dress their body at any stage and be happy with your body at any stage. And my big mission for the boutique is finding clothing that works for my ostomy bag and something that is comfortable, helps me feel confident, and also is functional. So I'm really excited that a lot of the things that we found, even jeans, we have jeans that are comfortable with an ostomy bag. So yes, we found it. We're going on, this is year 2 now that we've been open, which is so cool and so crazy to see the growth that we've had since then. I can dive in deeper if you guys want to know about this. Let me know in the comments, just comment below boutique and I can make another video like diving a little bit more into that, like how we got started, what we do, all the things. Or you can check us out. We are Leopard Lily Boutique, which is shopleopardlily.com. I'll link it in the video description as well too. But basically I have been working from home ever since then, and I feel like I never got the true closure from that job, so I still sometimes feel like I'm just on this permanent leave from my old job. I had a dream about it last night, which was so crazy, that I like still worked there and stuff, but the only closure I got was like going and picking up the stuff that was in my desk, but I didn't get to say goodbye to like all my coworkers, so that was really weird. But it was just the time, that was the time of all the things. But anyway, I digress. As far as my body is and function wise and everything like that, I touched on it in my last video about my ostomy bag change. I switched to using a lot less products for a bag change, and I've also found like the best bag for me ever. It's the Coloplast Sensor Mio. They have 2-piece bags and they have 1-piece bags, and they have drainable and closed. I use a drainable 1-piece, and it actually has a little bit of convexity to it, so that means it just like pushes into my skin a little bit, because I was having a lot of troubles with like leaking right around my stoma. And if you know, or maybe you don't know, if you get any output on your skin, it starts to like eat away at your skin, which is so wild. So you don't want to have leaks, because it just is a pain in the butt, because then you have open skin, and a sticky does not stick to wet open skin as well. So we can dive into that more too if you have other questions. I want to really come back on here and share a lot more of my experience with my ostomy bag, what I've learned, things that you can do, and all of that kind of stuff, because I feel like that's really helpful. Another big thing is that my husband and I actually moved across the country. So we're originally from Minnesota. All our family and friends are up there, and we decided to move to Texas. It was kind of a spur of the moment thing in a way. We had our house listed for about 6 months, and my husband is really good at home projects, so he like renovates things. He's got an amazing eye for design, and he can follow through and actually like do it himself. Handyman to the nines. So at first we were looking for fixer-uppers down here. We just really wanted to sell our other house because we flipped that. He flipped it, let's be real. And we just wanted to like start over and do something new, and we figured we don't have kids right now. Now's the time that if you're gonna do something big and move across the country, just to go and do it. So here we are, we moved to Texas. We are in a suburb of Houston, and we love it. Honestly, it's like unreal. We moved here in April of 2021, so we've been here for almost 8 months now. Wow, it's over 8 months, yay. But we got this gorgeous house with a pool. Honestly, I can't even believe we got this house. It's literally a dream. Comment below house tour if you want me to give you a little house tour, because it is gorgeous. Honestly, we're in my office right now. I have an office, like, so cool. But anyway, did I mention we have a pool? We have a pool and palm trees. Those, like, everything like that. The palm trees and sunshine bring me life. It feeds my soul. That is what I feel like. Oh, I don't know. There's just so many things. Also too, like winters were really difficult for me because I got in a really terrible car accident several years ago and I have a lot of PTSD from that. So that was also a motivation for moving to a warmer state. And luckily, one of my best friends, she moved here like 5 years ago. She moved to Austin and now she lives closer to me. I'm trying not to give like too specific of locations because I'm like, you know, it's the internet. But regardless, we live now close to each other and it's so amazing to have somebody that's close to you, especially when you moved across the country. I feel like I'm rambling now. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if you have specific questions about what life is like with an ostomy. I don't know that I really touched on much right now, other than I'm very happy with my ostomy bag. I still have my rectal stump and they leave that in place for just in case you know, go on and do the J-pouch surgery. I have decided still to not do the J-pouch. Sometimes I get thoughts like, ooh, maybe, you know, like maybe I would want to try it, or maybe I would like it to not have a bag and to just look normal, you know what I mean? But those moments are few and far between and they last for a very short time. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm happy with how my bag is. It is very well behaved. My stoma is pretty well behaved. I luckily, knock on wood, have not had any blockages at all, like ever in my small intestine tract. So that's really good. I feel like overall it just functions very well for me and I have chosen to just keep it. And so my GI doc says that as long as I do a yearly flexible sigmoidoscopy and we have our regular visits, I can not do that like second surgery that would make my ileostomy permanent, which is removing that stump and making, like, closing up the butthole, which is called like the Barbie butt surgery. It's like nicknamed that. But to be honest, I'm scared of that. I am scared of sewing that up because of the healing time. And I guess I have a lot of questions. So if you're watching this and maybe you have done the Barbie butt procedure, please let me know, how is your healing time frame? How is it going? I just feel like if you're gonna do things like work out and you want to do a squat, you know, like, or anytime you like spread your cheeks, like, what if you pop a stitch? Or how long? What if it doesn't heal because it's still a little bit open? Anyway, I got questions too, so we can help each other out. I kind of did just an overview of my life now. So much has happened since I last filmed an update for you, so let me know if you have specific questions and then I can make a video, you know, more tunnel vision, more based on a specific topic. So thank you for following my brain today, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Let's cheer each other on with whatever we're going through, and we can do it. We can get through this life together. Thank you so much for watching me today. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!